And at the end of the day, you can tell everybody go fuck themselves. You can put it in your head, memorize the freaking key, right? And it's here. And then, the classic Bitcoiner response is, oh, yeah, my Bitcoin, I lost it in a boating accident. Tax that.
GM, and welcome back to the channel. Now, it struck me that too many people are bearish out there. So I've hired the help of Michael Saylor here today. Plus, of course, it's a Friday, so we know what that means. A certain airdrop is coming. So make sure you do stick around till the end of the video for this one. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, smash a like on today's video. Drop me a comment down below. Subscribe if you're new. Let's jump in. So talk of the town at the moment is GBTC. So the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, we're awaiting this to formally be allowed to become an actual ETF, at which point the GBTC discount will go negative at some point. So what I watched today was quite a bit of detailed analysis from Eric Crown on GBTC, stating, look, that this is almost a forward-looking indicator here, telling you the path of GBTC and the ETF. This is bullish, therefore it's highly likely that Grayscale are going to be given the nod sooner rather than later. And this chart looks obviously a lot better than that of actual Bitcoin, the underlying held by the trust. This is the GBTC discount to NAV. As we can see, the net asset value, it was minus 41%, now just minus 17%. So this really has been closing in at a rapid rate here over the last 2.5 months, as you can see from the chart on screen there. But let's get the thoughts on Michael Saylor here, as there has been some FUD around this. Some people stating that won't there be actually a price crash if GBTC gets the green light for an ETF, as people could buy up Bitcoin via GBTC, buy up a load of these shares, get their hands on the underlying asset Bitcoin, and then dump it into the markets. So let's hear the response to that FUD from Michael.
That is to say, no, I don't think there's a big overhang of Bitcoin. What's going to happen is, as soon as Grayscale can convert, then if I know that they're able to arbitrage it, then I'm immediately going to buy up all the shares in Grayscale to do it myself. One of the things that happens in the free market is there are all these hedge funds that have billions and billions of dollars. Once they know that the discount is going to go to parity, then they would begin to buy up the shares and arb that out. And as soon as they did that for 5% of that amount, it would snap the discount back into place. So I think that, for example, everyone that owns Grayscale, they're not going to want to sell if they know that the discount is going from minus 20% to zero. They're not going to sell. And then anybody that might want to buy is going to buy in a hurry, right? And so what happens is, once you've cured the structural deficiency, the discount will go away, and then there's no incentive to sell the Bitcoin. The people that are in the space wanted to own the Bitcoin. They didn't want to sell it. So sometimes in the crypto markets, there's this panic that lasts for like an hour or sometimes for a day. And then people all go, oh, what did I do? That was stupid. Like when Jerome Powell starts talking, about interest rates, and then the price crashes, and then the price soars, and then it comes back in.
Saylor there literally describing the Darth Maul candles we see on every FOMC press conference. So maybe he is one of us after all, a true degen on the 1-minute chart, leverage trading BTC at those volatility events. But literally what he's saying here is that the potential discount trade to be had will literally last just a few moments, maybe a few hours, maybe a whole day, if that. Because the institutions will be waiting, the market inefficiency would be taken care of very quickly. There's lots of hedge funds out there with billions at their disposal who would quickly arb that back to parities. So no real concern there on that front. And he does see the Grayscale lawsuit as very bullish, as we're seeing like the kind of legal arm of the US giving the green light to Bitcoin. And meanwhile, we're having the FASB, the accounting rules, also changed as well. This again, kind of like the accountancy industry, giving the green light to Bitcoin as an asset class. So he sees this as a load of positive news coming for BTC. But the second clip I want to share with you here is him talking about the certainty of the halving here and the effects that that will have. And of course, Saylor is super bullish on this, as per anything Bitcoin. We already know he is the ultimate Bitcoin maxi. Let's listen in.
The halving is coming with 100% certainty. And as far as I can see, most of the selling of Bitcoin in the market is the Bitcoin miners that have to sell in order to pay their electricity bills and pay their debt expenses and their operating expenses. So that amount of selling pressure is going to be cut in half in a few months. So we know that's coming. And then we know there's a spot Bitcoin ETF coming. And when that comes, we plug into Wall Street and the entire banking system. And then finally, we know that fair value accounting is coming. And when that happens, and now you're going to introduce this as a conversation into hundreds of boardrooms, they will not move in a week. They move quarterly, but over the course of 12 quarters, you'll start to see company after company looking at this, and you'll start to see a reallocation of assets, right? At the end of the day, corporations only hold two assets. They hold cash and they hold bonds. And so if Bitcoin is available as an asset, pari passu to a bond, then you'll see a reallocation from bonds to Bitcoin. And then in the institutional investor side, you've got all these people holding real estate, holding commodities, holding gold, holding ETFs and S&P indexes and the like. And if they start to reallocate, and they will, 1%, then 2%, then 5%, then you're going to have something that's never happened in the history of the world, which is you've got an ETF on a commodity that is scarce.
Boom. So there we have it. He's saying we have the first ETF coming for a commodity that is actually scarce. They will mine more gold at will when needed to suppress prices. It is pretty much a bit of a dodgy industry on that regard. Same with real estate. They can create more real estate, but no one can produce more Bitcoins. Thus, the halving is 221 days away. April 17th, 2024 is the predicted halving date now in the calendars, and Saylor getting uber bullish for this event due to the fact if we have all these culmination of things that we know are coming, the ETF is coming, the halving is coming. I know it feels like he has just reiterated these same points over the last 4 years, but it is coming to fruition now. So we are kind of in this strange period of time where we have all this knowledge, the prices are way, way down, yet we know that the buying will commence at some point into the future, probably before the date you can see on screen there. So it is a very good time to actually be bullish on these lower prices and be DCing like a madman, like me. But it is Friday, and what does Friday mean? It means more points. So the airdrop points from Friendtech go out each and every Friday. So this is expected to be a 9-figure FDV protocol once the token does launch. We were told it was 6 months out. I think we're down to like 5 months out at this point. And the highest voting here on Ansom's poll was for a 400 mil valuation. So even if you just take half of that, 200 mil, it's going to produce some pretty good figures. So we are farming actively a 9-figure airdrop into the future here. So this is what T-Nut said. Like it or not, Friendtech has already had more staying power than like 90% of layer ones with multi-billion-dollar valuations and loads of these VC backing. So if we just do look at the actual fee breakdown here on DeFi Llama, you can see Friendtech is down here at number 9 overall, which is pretty damn incredible. So if we just scroll this up so we can see some comparisons here to some things kind of similar in the fees taken to it. So these are over the last 30 days. You can filter all these fields directly on DeFi Llama, which is an absolute godsend. And as you can see, over the last 30 days, almost $10 million in fees have been taken, and 50% of that is revenue to the actual shareholders. So 4.88 mil in revenue. But if you just look at the gross figure here of fees, very comparable to that of MakerDAO. MakerDAO sits at a 1 bill valuation. You can also see on here it has greater fees and revenue than Frax Finance at 400 mil. It has very similar fees to that of Aave overall, 10 and pretty much 10, almost 5 versus 6. 800 mil in valuation, and it beats the likes of Convex on both metrics there, and that is valued at $200 million. Now in the seed round it was valued around 50 mil by Paradigm, who were the big investors on that seed. So as ASXN here reports, definitely give these guys a follow. They just drop alpha for free each and every day. Friendtech recently announced they'll be distributing 100 million points over a 6-month beta period, and the points have a special purpose after the end of the beta. So if we just open this up a little bit bigger here, say we go with the Ansom poll, 400 mil is the FDV. If they airdrop 10% of points, that would have a value per point for these airdrops at 40 cents. If you bump that up to a 20% airdrop, i.e. 20% of all the tokens get airdropped to all participants of the app, and it's valued at 400 mil FDV, each point will be worth around 80 cents. I think the middle of the road that they're pointing out here is around 60 cents. So if you think it's a 200 mil and we get around a 30% airdrop, works out at 60 cents. If you think it's going to be 300 mil in value and we get 20%, then that's a 60-cent airdrop per point that you accrue over this 6-month period. So pretty outstanding stuff here. I think that is the kind of ballpark a lot of people are now quoting, 60 cents per point. And so this week have been doing a little bit of buying and selling, haven't been too active on the actual app itself due to the fact just been very busy churning out some research and reports. But I really do want to stress, I think that it is going to be one of those things you might look back on with a bit of regret if you don't try and farm these points. I think it could be a very obvious play in hindsight, and if it does come out at 60 cents per point, you can pretty easily accrue like 100 of these points each and every week with a small amount of activity. Buy and sell really cheap accounts, comment in loads of chats that you're involved with, spam it, and make sure you log in each and every day. Those are kind of the steps that I want to be taking forward with this through the remaining 6 months, as I think this one could be highly lucrative, so why the heck not? So drop me a comment down below. What do you believe Friendtech will be valued at once it goes live with a token? I'll see you guys in the next one. Enjoy your weekends. I'm in token 2049 next week, so peace.